Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's solve the exercise 4.3 of the income statement. Now, exercise 4.3 is again related to preparation of the income statement actually. Now, the format of the income statement is multi-step actually, as you can see that in the instruction it is written there that we need to prepare from the foregoing information, prepare an income statement for the year 2010, and the format should be a multi-step income statement. So we will keep this thing in mind. Okay, then the financial records of the Dunbar Corporation is given actually, which are destroyed. Some of the information is destroyed by the fire. So 8 informations are given. Let's discuss each one of them one by one. Okay, now the beginning merchandise inventory was $92,000 and decreased 20% during the year. So if the inventory has decreased by 20% from its original worth of $92,000, this is something which we don't need in an income statement actually. So this information is like of no use for us. The next information is sales discount amount $17,000. Yes, we gonna use this. Then 30,000 shares of common stocks were outstanding for the entire year. So if you bring the sketch of the income statement into your mind, you would realize that we don't need this information as well. Interest expense was $20,000. Yes, we do need it. Income tax of 30%. We need this information. Cost of goods sold $5 lakh. Yes, we need this information. Admin expenses are 18% of cost of goods sold. Please keep this thing in your mind, 18% of CGS. And the same admin expenses is 8% of the gross sales. We did this particular point. 7 has a very critical role, or not a very crucial role actually in our numerical. The 8th information is 4 by 5th of the operating expenses are related to sales. Means out of total expenses, 4 portions goes to the selling and 1 portion goes to the admin expenses actually. So let's solve the numerical. Now in this numerical, if we see, we have a account of sales discount here. Whenever you see the word sales discount here, so it means that there are 2 kind of sales here. One is the net and the next one is the gross sales. So I will start with the the gross sales first. Okay, I will write here gross sales, whatever the gross sales amount is. Now if I look into the question given to me, there is no information of gross sales given here. So it means it's a kind of a question mark here. Let me use a pencil for that. So it's a kind of a question mark here that I don't know the sales. Okay. Then from the gross sales, we will subtract if there are any discounts given, like sales discounts. So let me write here sales discount. Okay. And if you see in this numerical, we are in given the sales discount figure, which is $17,000. So I will write here $17,000. Discount is something which decreases the amount of your sales. Once you subtract this, the remainder of this would be actually called as net sales. Now as I don't know what is the gross sales amount, so I will put a question mark here that I also don't know that what is my net sales figure also. Here, once you get net sales figure, then from the net sales figure you're gonna subtract cost of goods sold amount from this figure actually. So let's look into the numerical. Do we have cost of goods sold? Yes, we do have cost of goods sold $5 lakh. So I will write here minus $5 lakh, and the remainder, whatever we get, is actually called as gross profit in our format. Okay, now as we don't know the net sales figure, so we cannot calculate the gross profit figure also. That's kind of an unknown to us. After gross profit, we actually try to specify all the operating expenses of the organization. So let's see if we do have any operating expenses available here. If I see here, we have administrative expenses and we have sales activities also. So these are the 2 kind of expenses that we have. Let me write them here. First we have admin expenses. So I've written it in short. Okay, and the second we have is selling expenses actually. Both of these figures are also unknown to me if you have observed that in the numerical. Okay, but there are certain information that's given to us actually. Information like administrative expenses are 18% of the cost of goods sold. So admin expenses 18% of the cost of goods sold. This figure can be written here like this. If I write here, it says that the administrative expenses are equal to 18% of the cost of goods sold. In other terms, you can write here 18% means 0.18 and then multiply by the cost of goods sold figure. The cost of goods sold figure we have is $5 lakh actually. When you multiply it, you get $90,000 from it, which means that admin expenses are actually $90,000. So once I know it is $90,000, I will write it here instead of the question mark, $90,000 expense. Okay, then let's go back to the numerical again. In the numerical further, it says that the same admin expenses are 8% of the gross sales. Okay, 8% of the gross sales, which means I can write it here that the same admin expenses is 8% of the gross sales. In other terms, 0.08, which is, I converted percentage into decimal, multiply by the gross sales figure. Now I don't know what is the gross sales figure, but I do know what is the figure of admin expenses. So this equation can be written as admin expenses are actually equal to 0.08 multiplied by gross sales, or you can say admin expenses are $90,000, which we have already calculated in the first step. $90,000 is equal to 0.08 multiplied by gross sales, or it would be $90,000 divided by 0.08 is equal to gross sales. I hope you got the idea that when you shift it, so there would be a reverse application as well. Now if you divide it, it's gonna give you a figure of $1,125,000 figure, gross sales. Okay, once you get the gross sales figure, we shift this figure here. Okay, so let me write it here, $1,125,000, and from this figure we subtract the discounts that are actually given to customers. So the remainder we get now is it's like $1,108,000. Okay, and from this we subtract the cost of goods sold, so we will get $6,008,000 as our gross profit. So if you see, it's we went kind of like reverse, from bottom to top we went there. Okay, now that's we got the gross profit figure as well, we got the administrative expenses as well. Now it's the time to calculate the selling expenses here. Now let's go back to the numerical and let's see what does it say to us. The numerical says that 4/5 of the operating expenses relates to the sales activity, which means that sales activity are 4 times bigger than operating expenses. 4/5. So in other terms, I can write it like this here. If you can see here, number 3, selling expense is equal to 4 times of administrative expenses. 4/5 here means that out of 5, 1 portion is admin and 4 portions are sales. So it means sales are the 4 portions of the admin expenses. So it is 4 multiplied by $90,000, and this would become $3,60,000, which is like 4 times of this $90,000. Okay, so when you do it like this, that 4 plus 1, so they become 5 in total actually. So this is the total operating expenses that we have here. Now the total operating expenses, when we write a total out here, so it's going to become here around $4,50,000. When you subtract this, so you get an operating income of $1,58,000. You can also call this income as your earning before interest and tax. From this earning, we are supposed to subtract interest expenses. Our interest expense given in the numerical that we have is $20,000. So I will subtract $20,000 from it. The remainder that we get is actually $1,38,000. This income is actually called as earning before tax. From this we are supposed to subtract the tax expenses. If you remember in the question it was given the tax rate is 30%. So this is 30% of the EBT, when you multiply 30% with $1,38,000, you will get $41,400. So when you minus this 138 minus 41,400, you get an income of 96,600. This is the net income actually. So ladies and gentlemen, this is it. We calculated the net income of the company using the multi-step income statement actually, and the only thing unique in this was was that the some of the missing values were there. So actually we went reverse. We started our journey from the bottom and then we went up actually to solve it. That's the solution of the exercise 4.3. Thank you very much.